way to truly make wealth is through knowledge, right? So let's get right into it. So this slide just gives us a brief overview. This slide gives us a brief overview of the Nigerian economy, right? Or the African economy at large. We can see that Africa has 65% of the arable land in the world, right? There are 9 billion mouths to be fed, or there will be 9 billion mouths to be fed by 2050, right? I left the food conference, an Agri conference today, and someone was like, why is Agri important? Then the keynote speaker said, please, how many of you have not eaten for the past 24 hours? Nobody raised up their hands except people on the mountain. Yeah, so it means that people will continue to eat. So what we are talking about is not just about agriculture. It's about food. It's about prosperity. It's about water. It's about economic growth. Yeah, so it's very important. And there are diverse players in the agricultural space. There are 41 million SMEs in Nigeria, right? And 20% of them are in the agricultural sector. And we are witnessing technology innovations in the sector, yeah? You see people using drones to plant their farms, people using coordinates, to map out their farmland, people doing soil tests, and all of those things don't used to happen before. Tractors helping us clear the land, satellites, satellite mapping, giving us a precise size of the land so that the right input can be, dispersed in the land. You see weather forecast saying, okay, it's going to rain today, don't apply fertilizer so it doesn't wash up the fertilizer. Yeah, so there's been a lot of technological advancements in the sector. And Akanwumi Adesina, who is one of my role models in the sector, says that what Africa does with agriculture is not only important for Africa, but it will shape the future of the world, right? So that's something I'm always holding on to. What is the economic outlook? What is our GDP looking like, right? My people will say that population is increasing, but our productivity is reducing. It means Nigeria are more active in the oil room, right? It's good, it's good, it's good. There's growth, there must be growth and dominance of the human race, right? But of course, we also need to be actively producing so that the growing population doesn't create immense pressure on social amenities, infrastructure, food security, right? And all of that, yeah? It was a shocking statistics that there are 24 million children that are out of school, right? So people can afford to send their kids to school. If they can't afford to send their kids to school, it means they do not have that money. And what can give you money? Agriculture is typically one of the skills you can replicate anywhere you are. You can plant in your backyard, you can get involved in the business. It's a hands-on business that you can, and it's a science. Nature has blessed us such that if you put a crop in the ground, tomorrow it grows. And the beauty of how you can make it different, the experts can make it different is when you employ what we call good agronomic practices through some trainings. I know that Simphony Consult will be organizing for us in the coming weeks. Yeah. So look at key agricultural statistics. Today we were in the seminar, we were shouting that a budget of agriculture is below the Maputo principle, which says that every economy must dedicate 10% of the total budget to agriculture. Look at what it was in 2024. I think in 2025 it's about 3.1%, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So it means that we need to do something. But I always like to look at the glass cup as half filled instead of half empty. When there are problems, look at, okay, what solution can be made? How can I also profit by creating a solution for that problem? Because problems help us to innovate, right? Problems help us to innovate. If you do not have so much, there's a way you innovatively manage your money, and you'll be okay, right? So how can we think deep down and innovate to solve very key problems instead of always complaining about the problems? Agriculture contributes about 27% to the national GDP. Yeah. Look at how much we spend on food consumption. So in Nigeria, Nigerians today spend 61 trillion naira out of their household income on food. Look at the trade deficit. So we import more than we export. We use 1.97 trillion to import. Meanwhile, we export only 648 billion. Do the maths. The maths is not mathing. And currently today, most of what we eat is produced by the smallholder farmers, right? They make up 80 to 88% of the farming population. Yeah, we understand that these people do not have access to finance, and this webinar will solve how you guys, SMEs in the agri value chain, or people that just want to pick up interest in doing agriculture, can access funding in the space. Madam Simphony, I hope this conversation is being recorded for the sake of people who. All right. Okay, that's amazing. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. So it's sometime we had some major economic events. There was the End Bad Governance protest. The major cause of that protest was hunger. People were demolishing warehouses, taking foodstuffs that were stored, and all of that. Nigerians are hungry. And we are the ones, the agriculturists, that can solve this problem and make money while we solve problem. Come on, isn't that beautiful? Pump price of oil is reducing. Dangote refinery is functioning. People are saying, okay, his fuel is good, it lasts long, and all of that. He's also creating jobs indirectly. Most of the time, we depend on imported or refined fuel, right? And most of our foreign reserve or revenue has been depleted. But Dangote is doing a fantastic job with the refinery. What we need is more production centers, food production centers, and all of that. Yeah. So look at the statistics. According to World Bank, 95 million Nigerians now live below the poverty line. Somebody in the room, help me say to Fiakwa. We will not be among the people that are living below the poverty line, because we know how to make money and we know how to empower people, right? Something you guys would do for me. This seminar is a free gift. It's a webinar. It's a free gift by Simphony Consult. You will need to pay it forward, right? By gathering people in your community, teaching them about agriculture, right? And some of the things you're going to be learning from this space. Inflation hit an all-time high of 40.8%. Most of us couldn't buy foodstuff. It's really not been easy. Climate change, we're supposed to be, in fact, there's supposed to be so much rainfall right now that we're approaching June. This is end of May. We're getting to June, but the rainfall is erratic. It's not even, right? You can't even plan with it anymore. The heat stress, so many of us around February to March, May, April, the heat stress was something else. That's because climate change is imminent on us. As we are industrializing, right? There's a lot of greenhouse gas emissions. Some of us are not, or some of these big businesses, what do they call them? Industries, right? Are not really, adapting or adopting to climate change. And some of them are negatively contributing to the greenhouse gas emission. And agriculture contributes 11% to the greenhouse gas. So let's think to ourselves, okay, how can we reduce greenhouse gas emissions? Some of us, we still burn our land. We still do bush burning. That's not how we're supposed to be, eradicating weeds these days. I understand when you burn it, there's some, what they call it, minerals released, but no, you can get some of these minerals, some of these nutrients from fertilizers, either biofertilizers or inorganic fertilizers. But I'm always an advocate for organic fertilizers. Right? There's a projection of our GDP, right, to rise, right, to rise. Though the mandate given by the federal government is there should be an increase in the agricultural GDP by 6%, but we are still talking about a mandate to reach 3.3%. There is still so much that can be done, and that's where you come in. Right, we understand that there are challenges in the cultural sector. There's insecurity. Boko Haram, farmers can't go to their farms, right? So that's some of the reasons, major reasons for inflation. Farmers are not able to go to the farm and farm, right? So there's insecurity, on unknown gunmen, and all of those other things. And guess what? food security, insecurity is because people are hungry. If we had a wealthy community, if people were prosperous, please tell me how somebody would be committing banditry, kidnapping people, and all. Of these insecurity challenges stems from hunger, unemployment, right? We understand that there are financial constraints. Less than 20% of smallholder farmers have access to funding. Very key. It's not the bank's fault. It's not Sterling Bank's fault. I'll tell you how you can increase your chances of getting funding from the bank. So stay with me on this. There's supply-demand imbalance, and that's why we resort to imports. A few months ago, precisely January, the federal government opened the borders to allow importation of food items. And you see, there was influx of maize, influx of rice, and that's why even local rice was now even more expensive than imported rice. There was influx of a lot of food stuff because the federal government was focusing on food security. People were hungry. Farmers could not produce enough, right? While the opening of border is not something I support, but it was actually an emergency, right? It was like a state of emergency that was declared, and they had to import food, right? Of course, we'll talk about the downside, but this is not a political class. All right, then value chain deficiencies. To move commodities from point A to point B is a problem. There is no enough enabling environment. Yeah. Resource scarcity. People are not able to afford quality input. So you see farmers planting grains instead of planting improved seeds, right? And then of course outdated. This is 2025. You still see farmers holding hoes and cutlasses to farm. How do we move? How can hoes and cutlasses farm on 65% arable land, which is 74 million hectares of land that we have that is arable in Nigeria, 74 million hectares? Please, how will wool and cutlass take us out of food insecurity? While those challenges are there are still risks involved in the sector. To be honest, there's risk involved in everyday living. There's risk involved in everyday living, especially in this country where you have to pray for safety or pray for the basic, amenities, or pray that you are not, pray that uh this class is recorded anyway. Pray that Nigeria doesn't really happen to you, and all of that. So that's the same way there are challenges in agri space. I've talked about climate change. I've talked about pests and diseases. Agri is a science, they're living organisms, right? So most of the time, pest and disease outbreak happens. Then there's market volatility. You have planted your crops and you're expecting to sell at a bountiful, you sell your bountiful harvest, right? At a very good, juicy price. And all of a sudden, federal government opens border. The price of local commodities crashes, right? Because of course, the imported ones are competing with you. What do you do? Financial constraints. Some of us do not have access to funding, and not just funding, but affordable funding. Price of input. You want to buy fertilizer, you want to buy seeds. They say, okay, this is too expensive, you can't afford it. You just say, but let me manage my seed let me manage the grain from the previous harvest and replant. Yeah. In managerial capacity, some of us don't really know how to manage our business. We think agriculture is something like a social, like a lifestyle kind of. We don't take it as a business. Agriculture is a business, and it has the capacity to make the next set of billionaires that we have, that we would be producing in the coming months. Sorry. Then there's post-harvest losses. Yeah, post-harvest losses. Currently, the statistics shows that 45%. So out of every 1 kg of produce produced by the farmer, right? 45% of it goes to waste, because before he transports it to the nearest market, before he doesn't have a store, he doesn't have something to quickly process it, at least to the next level, or add value to it, then transportation from one point to the other is difficult, right? So he suffers post-harvest losses. At the end of the day, just say, guy, how much do you want to give me? Just take it at this price and I'm okay. And so you see farmers are in that cycle of poverty. So when we talk about Agri, people, there's a picture of a man with hoe and cutlass. That are clothes that come to our mind. We don't know that Agri is beautiful and it can make you guys in the next set, or us, the next set of billionaires. Then land is an issue. Yeah, there's land tenure issue. Even for real estate, you buy land today, you hear Omonile has grabbed it. These issues are there. Then there's quality issue. You want to import instead of yam, you are seeing sand. Those issues are there. How can we? These are the risks. So sometimes banks don't want to lend because of some of these risks. Because banks' funds are shareholders' funds. All of us here, I'm very sure, have bank accounts, right? So the bank has to lend responsibly, and to people who have mastered, the challenges and are able to provide solutions. Look at the several opportunities in the agricultural value chain and the key players, right? Of course, each value chain comes with its own, what do they call it, challenges, but challenges are opportunities. It depends how you see the glass cup. Is it half full or half empty? Challenges are opportunities. Now look at the input supply. So those people need high capital requirements. There's credit risk associated with the distributors. Then there's supply chain deficiency. Apologies for the background noise. So working from home. Yeah, then there are opportunities, financing input suppliers and all of that. Who are the key players? You can say, oh, I don't want to be producing. I just want to be supplying seeds, right? So you can play in this space. And I told you that there are 20 million SMEs. So you just say you don't even want to identify a farming community, and what you just want to be doing is to be supplying improved maize seed. You will buy from Seed Co, Syngenta, Value Seed, right? Premium seed. I'm marketing them. I don't know why. Then you will be supplying seeds to the farm. If you make 100K, 100 naira, 1,000 naira per bag, that's something, right? That's some good amount of money. Production. If you have the resilience to be the one to produce for us, you join a cooperative, because it's better to come together as one, right? And produce. So that's it. Do we have any questions so far? Maybe I could quickly solve one or two domestic issues. Questions?
It's clear enough for me. I can actually understand what you're saying. I don't know if any other person does.
Okay, thank you so much,
Hello.
Anekan, for that response. Thank you, Anekan, for that response. Am I still being heard? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you well.
All right. So if you say you're resilient, you want to go into production, perfect, all well and good. There's a lot of grant opportunities, donor funding, chip funding, targeting primary production, because we know it's not easy. Then post-harvest or processing, if you want to, there are a lot of people that process food to add value to it, to give it a longer shelf life, right? You can say you want to play in that space. Most of the time, what we do in Nigeria is that we export raw produce and import refined produce. We export cocoa, right? And import chocolates. Yeah, we export coffee, right? And import coffee, refined coffee and all of that, which is not so good. We export cashew and import cashew nuts. We need to change the narrative, and that's why we need many what do they call them? Processing companies, right? Cassava processing. You can say, okay, what's your responsibility is processing cassava? Take cassava from the smallholder farmers and process it into cassava chips. And I know there are companies looking for cassava chips like no man's business, right? So that's another opportunity. You can say, okay, you want to be in distribution and marketing. I know how much it takes to move one trailer load of commodities from just Kano to Kaduna. It's over 700,000 naira for just Kano to Kaduna, right? And there are a lot of trade happening across states, interstate. So if you say, okay, what I just want to do is buy 2 trucks, get a driver, and you'll be providing that logistics service. Okay, forget even trucks, bikes. There are people that have just that they sell agri produce online. You can say, okay, you want to partner with those businesses and be the one providing logistics services, moving goods, drop shipping, take it from the farmer or the processor, then supplying it to people's home. This is a digital economy where people are busy. They don't really have time for so many things. So most of the time, they don't even like to go to the market. If they see an online shop, an online food, why do you think all those online shops are making so much money? Do you know the value of trades that happen in Instagram, right? So there are people coming selling tomatoes online, selling frozen chicken online, selling vegetables online, and all of those other things. So you can say, okay, I just want to provide logistics, right? And help people transport their produce from one place to the other. And then support services. Of course, this one is beyond our scope, insurance and all of those other things and finance. Yeah. So that's beyond our scope. Okay. Yeah. So this is a breakdown of the cassava value chain. How many ladies are here in the house? Do we know that our makeup, most of our beauty products have byproducts from cassava? Yes. So that binding properties in our makeup and all of that is cassava. So, and Nigeria is the largest producer of cassava, world's largest producer of cassava. But I really don't like to say it because people are still hungry in Nigeria. People are still below poverty line. So what are we doing with this cassava we are producing? What are we doing with it? And there are a lot of users for cassava, right? I know of a company. She can't even meet demand. Nestle is on her neck. Guinness is on her neck for cassava. Tomatoes. What we still do, we import sachet tomatoes into the country. Those sachet tomatoes are concentrates, chemicals that are not really healthy for us. Look at the players in the space, the upstream, the midstream, the downstream. Processors, marketers, assemblers, packaging, greenhouse, wholesaling, retail. Look at the supply gap, 1.4 million metric tons. Just look at the post-harvest loss, 50%. So for every 1 kg of tomatoes produced, 50 goes to waste. How can we process tomatoes such that it has a longer shelf life? We're still waiting for this solution. Maize, everybody consumes maize. If you're not taking it as pap, you're taking it as cornflakes, your children are taking it as golden more, or they're taking it as Cerelac cereal. Everybody, or you're taking it in Maggi, you're taking it in no, because that cornstarch is used to make a lot of things. I was taking yam chips today, and part of the ingredients is cornstarch. Guess what? We import corn syrup, or is it cornstarch? Corn flour, we import it. And most of these big companies have said, okay, they want to even be sourcing locally, but they can't get enough. They can't get enough, and their businesses it's a going concern. They have to keep producing, right, and to be in business. So most of the time, we resort to importation, which is really not too good. Maize, how long will it take for you to grow maize? 3 months. Then you leave it to dry, you thresh, and all of those other things. Let's say maximum five months, and you make very good money. I'll check. I'm sure I have the economy of production and the projected yield per hectare for maize farming. And hey, okay, so this is it. Look at how much you can make from farming maize. 42% on 1 hectare of land. So imagine doing 5 hectares. You come together as a cooperative, lease one land. You don't have to buy, lease land and do your Partner with the people in the community so that insecurity issues is employ some of the youths in the community, get the community buy-in. And supply, there are people waiting. In fact, there are online platforms that you can supply harvested maize to, right? So look at greenhouse peppers, bell peppers. Look at how much profit you can make, 24%, right? In just 90 days. That's how long it takes for this the green peppers to mature. Look at the cocoa value chain. Do you know how much Ivory Coast made from cocoa alone? That money is much more, right, than than the GDP of agriculture. What Ivory Coast does with cocoa is much more than Nigerians' GDP. Oil palm, most of us, there's nobody that doesn't use oil palm products. Do you know how much Presco and Okomo posted last year's profits and how much dividend they gave to their shareholders? Crazy, right? So you can say, okay, what you just want to be doing is take this fresh fruit bunch, this particular one, right, and supply to the people that are converting it into oil, processing it into oil, and you earn money. Or you want to buy the oil, store it when it's in the off-peak period, you sell it and you make cash. Yeah, look at the wheat. We can't even produce enough wheat. Most of the time we have to import. Poultry, there's nobody that doesn't consume a poultry product at least a week on this call. There's nobody. There is nobody. Look at the supply gap, 521. And do we know how much egg powder that is being imported in the country by the people making cake, biscuits, chin chin, and all of those other things, snacks? Do we know how much egg powder is what do they call it, is imported? And these are businesses you can do in your backyard, be contributing your own quota, to economic growth and be making very good cash, right? Look at the poultry investment sheet, for example. There are two types of chickens or poultry. There is the one that lay eggs. There's the one that doesn't lay egg. The one for meat production or the one for egg production. This particular one is for meat production. Under 5 to 8 weeks, it is mature. You've attained 2 kg, which is what the processors are looking for. And you sell. In a cycle, you make nothing less than 18.7% in a cycle. These are industry secrets, right? These are practical things that we do, and we are sharing it for free on this webinar. Look at how much can be generated. And you really don't need more. Just get a small piece of land, put wood shavings, put charcoal to heat them up when they're so small, and continue feeding them. And you see how much. I know a lot of us raised chickens when we're growing up and all of that. It's really not that hard. So how can't you commercialize it? Right? And now you want to attract funding. Now we're going to the cocoa, we're going to the meat of the business. You want to attract funding. What will make your business attractive for Sterling Bank to give you loans? Or what will make your business attractive for venture capitalists and all of that? Yeah? So look at it. You must show track record of success. You must have mastered doing agribusiness for a while. Permit me to switch off my video. So you must have mastered doing agribusiness for a while, right? So that people can have confidence and invest in you or give you loans to scale up. You won't just wake up today to say, okay, come and give me loan. But yeah, come and invest in my business. Come and invest in my business. I want to do agri. No, when you have not mastered the business of agriculture, right? It's a recipe for disaster. Visibility on the flow of funds. There was a time, I don't know if it's still happening, where the people are falling into the hands of fraudulent people in the name of high returns on investment in agriculture. They'll say, come and invest in maize, come and invest in this. They will give you 90% returns in a year. That's not practical now. It's not even possible, right? So how can we follow this environment? How can we command capital in a way that allows us to scale our businesses, and we are seen as trustworthy people and we can command capital? Because there are a lot of people that have money. They're just looking for the right people to invest in, right? And person will give them very good returns on investment. While you're waiting for banks to do all their documentation, there are a lot of angels investors all around. You just need to show working according to the slangs, right? So the risk, yeah, there are risks, but how have you been able to manage some of this risk? Do you have a risk management in place? What security measures have you put in your farm, right? Then what else? Fallback options. Why you've been able to manage all the risk? Is your farm insured? Is your farm insured, right? Is your farm insured so that when there's disease outbreak beyond your control, there's avian flu, there's swine flu, and you've already put millions of naira, thousands of naira, hundreds of thousands. Who will bail you out when you don't know you can't stand, yet you fail? You have insurance, with as little as 2.5%, you can insure your farms. Yeah. So those are most of the things I'm talking about. I think I've talked about this these slides: haulage, application, storage, transportation, packaging. You can see what you just want to be doing is even producing the packaging nylon. I know how much I pay the person that produces packaging nylon for the staff cooperative agribusiness that I currently manage, right? For frozen chicken. I know how much I pay her just to produce packaging nylon. Of course, this is just me, one farmer. There are so many other thousands of farmers that she will be supplying, processors that should be supplying the packaging materials to. Yeah, so that's that. Now look at the big players. You say, okay, what you just want to be doing is supplying seeds, all right, buying seeds from the seed people who are supplying. These are some of the people, or you want to be supplying fertilizer. Position yourself, say, okay, rainy season, farming season is coming. Let me buy fertilizer from Saro, from Dangote, and let me resell. See Seedco, Premier, look at the size of those markets. Size of the pre-upstream is 3 billion US dollars. That's so much money to be made, right? Look at the primary production, what do they call the value chain or value, $60 billion, right? Then of course, midstream. So what you just want to be doing is to be buying commodities or buying harvested maize from farmers. Buying harvested maize from farmers and supplying, yeah? That's another cash cow. Excuse me. So, okay, and of course, food processors. You can even buy some of the already processed food items and retail or sell. That too, you can make some very good money. What are the funding opportunities? Just give me a second. So funding opportunities, what are the funding opportunities? There are a lot of people that are available to produce liquidity into the space. There are commercial banks like Sterling Bank. There are angel investors. There are NGOs. There are DFIs, Development Finance Institutions. There are venture. Is someone trying to ask a question? Is someone trying to ask a question? There are DFIs, there are venture capitalists, there are crowdfunders, right? People that come together to say, okay, we can give you so amount of loan. Go ahead, you pay us at the end of the day and all of that. Yeah. I think someone's mic is unmuted. Do you want to ask questions? Does anybody have questions to ask? Or we should go ahead with the presentation? Okay. I take it that there are no questions. I take it that there are no questions.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead, ma.
Okay.
Please
So these
go
are some
ahead.
of the grant, what do they call it, opportunities. So there's IFAD, there is Agri, there is Nestle. Nestle has a foundation where they give grants to people. There is Tony Lumelu Foundation. I don't know why I'm marketing the Lumelu Foundation, but he's doing amazing work. There is MasterCard Foundation. There is a USADF, United States Agency for the Agri Development. They are there offering grants. Of course, there's Sterling Bank. What I do today is that I manage a portfolio of $33 million for youth and women that is at 9%. If you are between the ages of 18 to 35, you can enjoy that funding, right, for agribusiness, any sector on the value chain. Yeah, and the tenure is about 4 years, and the interest rate is at The interest rate is at 9%, and it's uncollateralized. What we are funding then becomes collateral. If you want to buy tractor, that tractor becomes collateral. If you say you want to buy stock, you want to buy chicken, you want to buy maize and all of that, those things then become the collateral. Say, okay, you want to set up a greenhouse, those things then become the collateral. So it's a funding we created together with one of these NGOs here. That is MasterCard Foundation, to be able to create jobs for youths, about 10 million youths in Africa, because they have an audacious goal to create youths for about 10 million youths in Africa. Yeah, at very affordable interest rate, because another objective of the loan is access to finance, access to affordable finance. Currently, banks give loans, commercial loans now are at 58%, and it's not the bank's fault, it's monetary policy set by the federal government. Yeah. And of course, when you save money in the bank, you expect some interest on it. So currently, I think NPR is 28.7%. So there's 27.5%. So there's really no way that banks can even give loans at 9%. But what we keep doing is telling banks to partner with NGOs, DFIs that are able to lend funds together and give it to obligors like yourself, borrowers, at single-digit interest rate or very discounted interest rates. For people that don't fall within 18 to 35, we have other loans at 16% that can be enjoyed by the borrowers. 16%. There's another one, 16% is for agribusiness. It's called the Nigerian Agri Development Fund. Then we have the other one called El Price Livestock Productivity and Resilience Fund. That's at 16% too. So these are funds that are available by private organizations that can be given or accessed, through Sterling Bank at very subsidized interest rate against commercial and conventional interest rates. So I think I will stop here, and if you have questions, comments, I would like to take it now. Thank you so much.
Wow. A round of applause. A round of applause. A round of applause. A round of applause to Miss Vera. She's done a whole lot of justice to this topic. And I'm sure that we've learned a lot. Please, let's use this opportunity to drop our questions on the comment section. Drop your question